Hello and welcome to today's lesson. Today we're moving into Module 5 and we're talking about Lesson 1. So we are going to be writing equations. So your learning target is I will be able to write linear equations from situations and graphs. So this y equals mx plus b, slope-intercept form that we've been talking about, y equals blank x plus blank is what we're going to be filling in. So here's your slope and here's your y-intercept. All right, so we're talking here, Greta makes clay mugs and bowls as gifts at the Crafty Studio. She pays a membership fee of $15 a month, an equipment fee of $3 per hour. So y equals blank x plus blank. What is the initial value for this situation? So what number is the initial value? How much does Greta pay each month just to be a member at this particular studio? And that initial value is your y-intercept. Okay, so that y-intercept is that initial value. And in here, it's saying that she's paying $15 a month. And then there's an equipment use of $3 an hour. So every hour she uses. So what is the input variable, the variable x? That is the number of hours. So number of hours that Greta uses equipment. Okay, so some months she might go 10 hours, some months she might only go 2 hours, some months she might not go at all. So what's the output would be her total cost that she pays the studio. So total cost she pays studio. And that's going to depend on the number of hours that she goes. So during April, Greta does not use the equipment at all. So if she doesn't use the equipment at all, does she pay $0? Nope. That's when she pays that initial value of $15, and that's why we wrote that as that y-intercept. So what will her cost be for April? Well, for April, since she's not using the equipment at all, it's just going to be that initial value of 15. And what will the y-intercept be? That is 15. Oh, I'm sorry, I wrote in a number wrong here. So what will her number of hours be? Her number of hours using the equipment would be 0. Her cost for April would be 15, and then her y-intercept is 15. All right, so that's April. Now we're moving on to May, and in May it says that she uses the equipment for 8 hours. So you can see here where they took 8 times 3, that's 24, and let's add the 15 to it. So now we can see that her May cost is going to be $39, whereas April cost was 15. So in June, she spends 11 hours. So we're going to have the 15 plus $3 an hour times 11. So what do we have? 15 plus 33. So her total cost is going to be $48. So from May to June, what's the change in the x values? So the change in the x is the number of hours. So she did 8 hours and then 11 hours. So that change is a positive 3. From May to June, what's her y? Well, y, remember, was her cost. And the cost went from 48 to 39. And so that change there is 9. So now to find the slope here, we're going to take the y value, 9, and divide by the x value, 3, and we get 3. And didn't we already say that this was $3 an hour? So that's where we're going to get 3 in here for your slope. So that y equation is y equals 3x plus 15. The slope change is $3 per hour. All right, so if we're getting it from a graph, can we write the equation of this? Y equals blank x plus blank, writing the equation. So video club charges a one-time membership fee plus a rental fee for each DVD borrowed. Use the graph to write an equation in slope-intercept form. Well, they just told us they charge a one-time membership fee. So if we rent 0 DVDs, how much do they charge us? And it looks like that number right there is at 8. So that is my y-intercept. That's my initial value. So that is the ordered pair 0, 8. So now to find slope, I need another point. Well, they have lots of different points on here, so let's just pick a point here. I'm going to use this 8 because this 8's at a nice number here. 8, and over here looks like it's at 8, 18. So to remember, to find slope, it's your change in y over your change in x. So your change in y, remember change means subtract. So we're going to take 18 minus 8, and then we're going to do 8 minus 0 on the bottom. So 18 minus 8 is 10, and 8 minus 0 is 8. So divide by 2, we have 5 over 4. So 5 divided by 4, or 5/4, is going to be what we have in here. Now, sometimes some people are going to write that as a decimal. So if you write y equals 1.25x plus 8, that is totally fine. All right, so here's an example here. The cash register subtracts $2.50 from a gift card. Okay, so if you look here, and we're going to write this equation in slope-intercept form. Okay, initial value, 0 coffees bought. How much money is on the gift card? $25. And then, what does it say here? It subtracts $2.50. So every time is $2.50 coming out of your account or off of your gift card. So we are going to subtract $2.50. Okay, so the change every time, every coffee you buy is your change, and that is your slope. All right, writing the equation from a description. So the rent charged for space in an office building is a linear equation related to the size rented. Write in an equation in slope-intercept form. So y equals blank x plus blank. Okay, so they don't tell us an initial value or where it's starting. So it looks like we're going to have to use some ordered pairs here to find the slope. So one of the points here that they're giving us is that we have 600 square feet, cost $750. And they're giving us another one that we're at 900 square feet, cost $1,150. So we need to find the slope. So we've been finding slope. Remember, we're going to do y on top, change in y over change in x. So our y values go on top. So 1,150 subtract 750 goes on top. And on the bottom, because I put the 1,000 first, I'm going to put the 900 first and then subtract 600. So we get on top for doing that, 400. And on the bottom, 900 minus 600 is 300. Well, we can simplify. This 0 cancels with that 0. So we have the fraction 4/3. Now, some of you are going to want to write that as a decimal, but this is a repeating decimal. So I would recommend just leaving it as 4/3. Okay, this next part is the part that's new. We have never done this part before. So this is the new part. So I'm going to do this part in red just to make it a little bit bold. And this is going to be the new part that you have to pay attention to. We're going to pick one point. It doesn't matter. Remember, we always write ordered pairs, x and y, and I'm going to substitute. So in place of y, I'm going to put 750. So in place of this y, I'm going to write 750. I leave my 4/3. Now I'm going to substitute, and in place of this x, I'm going to put this x value, which is 600, and what I'm looking for is my y-intercept. So right now you're going to want to grab your calculators, and you're going to do 4/3 times 600. So you can certainly use your calculators for that. It is 800 plus b. And now what we're going to do here is we're going to subtract 800 from both sides. And we end up with negative 50 equals b. So our y-intercept is negative 50. So our final equation is y equals 4/3 x minus 50. All right. So we're going to go through two examples. This is where you need your sheet of paper, and I want you to copy these down. These need to be in your notes. This is what you are going to submit to me. I want the next three problems that we do in your notes on a piece of paper. So we're going to write an equation, y equals blank x plus blank. All right, now we know that slope always goes in this first blank, and they actually told us the slope right here. They told us that the slope is 1/2, so I can go ahead and put that in this first blank. But they do not tell me what this y-intercept is. That's what I need to find. So it's helpful if I put x and y underneath here so I get my numbers in the right spot. So the y value is 9. So in place of y, I'm going to put a 9. Now I have to put something in place of x. This is called substitution. They tell me that this x value is negative 12. And what I'm looking for is b, or my y-intercept. So the first thing I'm going to do is substitute. Now I'm going to actually multiply. 1/2 times negative 12 is a negative 6. And now we always do the opposite operation. Because this is a negative 6, I'm going to add 6 to both sides. So 15 equals b. Now make sure you go back up here and write this number in your equation. So we have y equals 1/2 x plus 15. All right, we have another problem coming up here that looks exactly the same, so hopefully this next time it will go a little bit smoother. So write the equation of a line that has a slope of negative 4 and goes through the point of negative 2, 3. So we're going to write an equation, so we need y equals blank x plus blank, and we know that slope goes in here, so our slope here is a negative 4. Now, we know this is x, this is y. We do not know what this y-intercept is, so we're going to have to substitute these values in and solve. So I'm going to put a 3 in here, and I have negative 4 times negative 2 plus b. Now go ahead and multiply this out. Negative 4 times negative 2 is 8. Now we always do the opposite operation, and because that's a positive 8, I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. And I get negative 5 equals b. Make sure you go put that negative 5 back up in your equation. All right, last problem that needs to be in your notes. So this is the last one that needs to be in your notes. So Harry's weekly allowance varies depending on the number of weeks of chores he did. So he received $16 in allowance for the week he did 12 chores. So this is the ordered pair, 12, 16. And he received $14 when he did 8 chores. So this is 8 chores, 14. Now in this equation, they didn't tell us the slope or the y-intercept, so we're going to have to find both. So I'm running out of time, so I'm going to do this pretty quick. So I have 16 minus 14. Remember, your y's go on top, and 12 minus 8. So I have 2 over 4, which reduces to 1/2. So I'm going to put that in here. I'm just going to use this bottom one. So this is x, this is y. Make sure you put y in here. And in place of x, we put your 8, and we're looking for that y-intercept. So 14 equals 4 plus B. Remember, opposite